Yeah, if there's some questions, I want again to add of the German or Christian side, because, for example, the call to prayer is somewhat similar to the church bells ringing, not to denote the time, but really ringing loud and long. And maybe you heard nothing this morning, because today is Sunday, and actually very few churches still ring their bells. Some do, but some mosques have their announcement, or I don't know how to call it better, but most churches actually don't ring their bells either. I mean, in the very city center there's 14 churches, and they all would have rung their bell, you would have definitely heard it. So, and I think what the current number of mosques in Germany is, I think 2,600 or something.
Yeah, you're pretty well. There are 2,600, I would say, praying places.
Okay.
Because the visible mosques are a couple of hundred only. Most mosques, which relates back to the topic I just mentioned before, people said, yeah, we need a place to pray. We don't need to build a big mosque. And they just rented some spots, some halls, some whatsoever, to be able to pray. So out of the 2,500 mosques, only a few hundred are really constructed as mosques. The rest are just rented places where you are in a general building house where you rent a spot. And yeah, we have some more mosques which are built right now or want to be built, and there's a lot of discussions. Some people are afraid of Muslims, are afraid of Islam, and they see in the mosque the symbol of Islam, and they want to stay away from it. And as you mentioned before, a lot of people have something against religion at all. So they don't want any religious building to be built. But yeah, there are a lot of, in many places, even here in Aachen, we have a mosque, a Turkish mosque, which will be built. It is approved, but there's still even demonstrations going on against the construction of this mosque. And this is tough to see that, because I mean I'm born here, for example, in Germany. My mother, she's from Germany as well. My father is here since 40 Jahre. 45 Jahre bist du hier? 40. Yeah, 45 years my father is here. So actually I'm based here in Germany, and then if people make demonstrations against a mosque, against Islam, and ask me to go back, by the way, they say, yeah, go back to your home country. They say, where is my home country? Tell me where is my home country. Oh, I was born 20 kilometers from here, 10 kilometers from here. So this is sometimes tough to realize that.
But I think there's one point important to mention that you mentioned yourself, which is that I think it's not so much against Islam, it's against religions. I think people are really afraid of too much of any kind of religious involvement in daily life. Like not against Islam, not against Christianity, against whatever, Jews. Like I think in general people want the state to take care of all this welfare thing, like of all this providing for the poor, and I think this is a general thing maybe. It's not so much against Islam, but because I think if somebody would, I don't know, build a church, what would the reaction be? But the churches are here already.
We have too much of them.
Yeah.
Nobody will do anything against.
I don't want to draw a wrong picture or too negative picture.
Yeah.
Sorry if this happens. But I said in the beginning, I think the major issue is not that they have something against Islam, but they have a wrong perception, they have a wrong picture of it. And then if I would not be informed about Islam.
What is their wrong perception?
Yeah, I was about to tell. If I'm not asking, if I live here in Germany, and if I look what's going on in the media, in the discussions about terrorism, extremism, forced marriage, What else? So all these discussions go around these topics, and I wouldn't even know what is Islam. And if I tell people here it's about praying, it's about fasting, it's about making pilgrimage, and people say, first they don't believe me, saying, yeah, well, and where's your hidden agenda? Things like this. But that's I think one of the bigger problems we have, that people don't know really what it's about. That if you speak with them, they say, yeah, okay, I don't care if you pray or not. So, and all these hot discussions, all these negative discussions, they are often channeled, or they come to the point at the moment when the mosque should be built. Then all these misconceptions come up and stereotypes, and the discussion is actually not about the mosque. The discussion then is about these misconceptions, but when the mosque is constructed, then these stereotypes and misconceptions come up, and then they are discussed, but actually it's not, as you said, it's not necessarily always about the mosque.
So those conceptions are entirely false?
Are the what? Are the
Entirely, completely false?
we have problems with that. There is the problem of terrorism, of course. There are many things going wrong, but if you look at the people here, people have to care because they have to answer about these problems. They have to care what's going on, and because they're always confronted with these problems. But terrorism does not play a role in my life, except for having they asked for it. So this is not part of my religion. There are, of course, the problems with terrorism, etc. But this is always, you always hear this, but you must say this. This is a very, very small 0.0000% which are dealing with that. And we always discuss these 0.0001%, and the rest of the Muslims just want to live their life, practice, pray, and want to build a house if possible. So that is
one. To understand how it came to that, it's a big part. It's lack of communication, as you already explained, because there's many Muslims here since quite some decades, but there was little communication, and the early mosques usually were built by Turkish funding and had imams who came here for, say, 2 years from Turkey, who, well, especially the early mosques from the rural area, it's a special problem there. But the imams came here from Turkey and some other countries, didn't really speak the language, didn't really know the local society, and then went back after 2 years. And so there was little communication between the Muslim community and the broader society. Your mosque is kind of a positive exception because it was built really by local people. But this is not the rule everywhere, and this is where many of these misconceptions came from. It's the lack of communication. That's something that both are guilty of. German society in general and Muslims who had their own little society.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I explained. This relates to the issue that a lot of the large groups thought they would stay only temporarily here.
Yeah.
And the majority, the Muslim thought, the German majority also thought, okay, they return back and said, okay, I'm fine with the other group. I don't have to deal much with them. And that's what is going on now. Is a bit late and a bit tough, but it has to happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully positive.
Just going back to Stella's question about these misconceptions are right or wrong. The question is, does Islam as a religion, as a Quran and Sunnah and everything about it, does it justify terrorism? No, it doesn't at all. It's totally against terrorism, and this is documented. If you just open the Quran and read it, it's all about peace. And war is about defending yourself, attacking people and making unsafety things in the society. It's totally
the opposite of what Islam is all about. Islam really is about peace, not really wars or terrorism or violence. Islam condemns this. Islam condemns 9/11. Islam condemns 7/7. But it's usually in history there is the scapegoat that you put on it all the problems of our society. And nowadays it's Islam. Islam is the reason of every problem. I mean, if a Muslim done something now, it will be because of Islam. But if any other one do it, it's not. It's not anything related to his country. But if a Muslim do it because we want to put all the problems, we want something to put on it all the problems and make it the cause of all the problems. This is how it's going nowadays. But if you're asking about the misconceptions, true or not, they are totally not true. And if you just decided to read about Islam, you will find this by yourself.
So why is there a percentage of Muslim people who are really fanatic and behaving extremely violent?
From my own point of view, they are people who are playing with the name of religion for seeking private interests. I mean, they are not religious. They are not related to religion. They just want to justify what they are doing, so they brainwash the people by saying Islam said this. And there are a lot of ignorant people nowadays and poverty and a lot of conditions that would make you believe such people. This is how terrorism usually formed. Because of that, because of poverty, because of ignorance, so people believe, when they find an imam in a mosque preaching for hatred and such stuff, they believe him. And they are brainwashed and they keep on doing terrorist acts. And the evidence of that is that this terrorism, we as Muslims are suffering from it. In our countries, we are suffering, we are threatened by it. They kill us themselves. So is Islam saying that Muslims should kill Muslims? Probably not.
Well, most
But
victims
they are
of
not Muslims.
terrorist attacks were Muslims.
I want to give like one example. When someone, like there's our friends from Italy, when someone in Italy want to make a gangster and he want to be the boss of it, he will like make some signature for it. It's like, we like Madonna, we all in this gangster, it's gangster for Madonna. So all of the people with Madonna who like Madonna will come to this gangster. So the same, the terrorists want a lot of people to enjoy them. So they say, we are Muslims, we like Islam, come and join us. It's the same program. So they just take it for as a node to make people come and join. Think about it like that.